questions about drones. There have been repeated drone sightings in the Northeast, especially in New Jersey. These are not small drones, some of them pretty large. They're flying at low altitudes, they're flying in flocks. Has the president been briefed on this situation?
So we are certainly aware, the president is aware. So we're closely tracking the activity and coordinating closely with relevant agency, including DHS and FBI, to continue to investigate these incidents. Don't have anything beyond that to share. Obviously, this is something that DHS and FBI are tracking very, very closely, and so I would have to refer you to them directly, but aware, keeping an eye out and looking into the incidents that you just mentioned.
Welcome to the Human Spectrum, and thank you for joining me today. Today is the 12th of December, and what you just saw was White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre talking about the drone situation, and just another example of them playing it down, in my opinion. And we're going to be talking about how Congressman Vandrew was pretty much berated during the Deputy Press Secretary's spokesman for the Pentagon remarks regarding these drones after she was asked a question by a reporter. And goes back to yesterday's video where there was conflicting information between the both. Our government should be working together. And we should know what's going on, especially those that have these drones flying over their houses on a nightly basis. It hasn't stopped. I got images and clips of yesterday, last night. While I was doing a video yesterday, there was people out there doing what I encouraged them to do, and that's taking more videos of these drones and these incursions that are going on. It's not stopping. If anything, it's actually increasing. But we're going to get into the berating between the press secretary and Representative Vandrew. So, but before we get into that, I want to show you the latest clips and of what I was able to obtain from last night. And let's have a look at a few of those before we move on to our main issues.
And there is another orb up there. You see it? Right there. So there's usually another drone or spacecraft or whatever the heck that is that's next to it. I don't know, it's like they're feeding off of each other. Okay, I got the sprinklers. Here we are. Sprinklers are here. Okay, you see it? You see how it goes? See how it goes? And then it becomes a spacecraft or aircraft or whatever you want to call it, UAP. It transforms into a craft. Right in front of my eyes. Can't make this up. And there it goes. It's off. It's off. I just got drenched for being a little drone hunter. And the sprinklers are on here at the golf course. Okay. I just want to document this because I've contacted the police. I've contacted the news. They're not really taking this serious. These are...
So that drone footage was out of New Jersey last night, December 11th. And what she was trying to emphasize in that particular clip was that it looks like an orb at first, and it really does. And then she goes on to tell you that it seems to turn into or morph into something else. And then you actually see it begin to fly. So again, good job on them for recording the latest UAPs or drones over their areas. This one I found it interesting because she's describing it as an orb at first, and then sort of morphing into, if it did at all, morph into a drone of some sort and start flying. But perhaps it was a drone all along, and the light was just facing her, I'm thinking, but then it began flying after that. So yeah, definitely definitely worth watching, and it was definitely last night that they recorded this. The next clip I'm going to show you, and there's been chatter going around that last night, not only were there more sightings, but I'm getting reports that somebody is actually starting to shoot them down. I'm going to assume it's our government finally doing something. So we'll take a look at a few clips of possible shoot downs. These are possible shoot downs. Let's have a look. Now that was apparently last night, December 11th also. I have a still image of what appears to be two military aircraft actually shooting one of these down. So I'm going to show that to you right now. And this came with the video. Whether or not it's from the same video, I'm not sure, but it is a photo of what appears to be, I'm not really sure if those are F-16s or F-18s, but it looks like military aircraft of some sort, and showing this thing bursting into flames. And you can see on the bottom area here, that's just the rest of whatever it was. So if they did shoot it down, I would say finally, because this is out of control already. What are the reasons for the government not shooting these things down? What are the reasons for the government not capturing these things? I mean, what is it that's so scary that you can't tell us about? We need to know what's going on. The residents in New Jersey who have these swarms over their homes need to know what's happening. And all we're getting is a runaround. We know what's going on. We're monitoring the situation. But we're not hearing that, yes, we've retrieved something. That's something we should have heard right off the jump. That we've retrieved one. Here's where it's coming from. And this is what we're going to do about it. But that's not happening. People, we need to stay awake on this thing. Because this is not going away. And I'm showing you clips and images of stuff as of late December 11th. So I'm sure tonight, if things keep going the way they are, there's going to be more images and videos coming out tonight, whether it's in New Jersey or in other places. But right now, what I have so far is from New Jersey, and this is becoming very sad. And you're going to hear in a clip in a little while that these things haven't been shot down yet. So we're going to get into that clip next. So this is unbelievable. Let's have a look at this.
A commanding officer from the Coast Guard who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water. Followed right behind them. You know, and I said, what's the rules of engagement? I mean, you do it if you're fighting against a narco trafficker or something. And they said, we don't know, we don't have any. So I did reach out to the commanding officer at the Joint Base, which is also in my district, and talked to him. Had a very good conversation. Colonel Anthony Smith, Joint Base Fort Dix McGuire, the 87th Air Wing, Air Base Wing today. And I said, I know you have the capability. You've put out press releases to identify and bring down drones. Why can't you deploy them at least to the ocean? Bring one of these down, find out who's doing it.
The Coast Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about the Coast Guard being chased or followed by these supposed drones off the east coast of the United States. And they're telling him that we don't have protocols to mitigate that situation. These are the same people who shoot down drones that are carrying fentanyl. These are the same people who chase down criminals in speedboats. These are the same people who will report to the base that there's craft that's unknown and possibly adversary. I mean, I can understand the guy's frustration. We need answers. We need to know what's going on. Is something getting ready to happen? Are we in danger? Is that why we're not being told anything? If that's the case, we need to at least mentally prepare and possibly prepare in other ways. Because we don't know what's going on. Our government's not telling us. I'm not trying to stifle or get, harp on the government in a negative way, but I have to be honest with my opinion. I do not like the way they're handling it so far. It's ridiculous. It really is. So, especially when you have people that are legitimately upset over this. And I'll give you another case in point. So here's a guy. This is Mr. Douglas Steinhardt. He's a New Jersey senator. And his words are, shoot them down. And I can't agree more. Let's get a load of this.
The best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. From my perspective, if they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, and I think we owe the American people answers or explanations, but if they're not American made, if they're not American drones, then I think, we owe the American people action. And if no one else is saying, I'll be the first one to say it, if these are not American assets, then we need to get our assets into the air and blow one of these things out of the sky, pick up the pieces and figure out what we're dealing with. Because quite frankly, we're the United States of America. I mean, I think we need to do a better job here.
So he makes a great point. We are the United States of America. If these are adversarial drones, aircraft, or whatever, we need to take them down. And if they are taking them down, why don't you tell us? Why keep that part a secret? But I find it hard to believe that they are shooting them down, but I don't know. Here's another clip of a possible shoot down. This was again December 11th, last night. Let's have a look. That was also New Jersey. I left the audio out because the language was just it was just way too foul. And although I have nothing against basic foul language, this was a little too much. The excitement I understand, but the language I wasn't going for. But as you can see in that video clip, they were watching something coming down. If that was an airplane, I think it would have been on the news today that there was an airplane crash, and the FAA and the NTSB would be all over it, right? I didn't hear anything today. If you did, let me know in the comments. So what was that coming down in flames? So now we have two possible shoot downs. So is there action being taken finally by the military? I certainly hope so, because this is getting out of control. And yeah, that was another, I call it a possible shoot down. And there was a lot of excitement. If I were to describe the audio, at first they were like, what is that? It doesn't look like a plane, but another guy says it kind of does. Another one says it might be on TV. Well, today I checked and there was nothing on TV about an aircraft falling out of the sky. And any rush for the FAA or NTSB to go investigate anything that's down. Unless you've heard of anything that crashed in New Jersey, as far as a plane goes, please let me know by all means in the comments. So now we have two possible shoot downs on December 11th. So we're going to push that to the side for now and hope that our military is acting and making sure that if it's adversaries, they're not getting within 100 miles to 200 miles to our coast. But yet these drones are already over us. And if they're not adversarial, because when you listen to Singh and how she describes this, I'll have her describe, I'll put her on and let you see for yourself, but she's going to describe this as, we still don't know what these are, we're still investigating it. It's going to make you wonder, if that's the case, then are they NHI? Let's have a look at this.
Jen.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
No evidence of foreign adversary or enemy. What does that say to you? Let me know in the comments. What that tells me is there's no evidence of adversary or enemy craft. Then what are you saying? Could be NHI? UAPs? I mean, what are they really saying? What is she really saying in that statement? And I noticed the discomfort in that question too. I know a little bit about body language, and she's not one to move around a lot, but in this particular question I noticed her hands moving a little bit more than usual, and to me the look on her face was a little more like she was distraught about the question, or how she had to answer the question, or was told to answer the question. I don't know. You let me know what you think. But I'm going to get into the main event, where Representative Vandrew was berated based on her comments. And here's a clip of them talking about this beratement. So let's have a look at this.
Andrew, who is calling on the government to shoot down those drones. Congressman, Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh directly refuted your claims today. She essentially called you a liar about the drones that they're connected to Iran. Listen to this, and I'm going to get your reaction.
Sightings that have been reported. At this time, we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity.
Andrew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
Congressman, your reaction to her?
Well, I don't know where they're going then. Let's really think this through real quickly. We know that, I hope we know, that it's not the United States government that is putting these drones out there. Either that or they're lying to us. We know it's not a backyard hobbyist because they don't have the ability to do this. They have no kind of drone that's for sale that's this large, and no company in America is producing drones like this, nor would they put them out. So we know all the things that it's not. They tell us nothing. They've given us no information. I had highly placed individuals who were whistleblowers that came to me that are involved with this issue, that have high security clearance but don't want to use their name, and I don't blame them because they don't want to get in trouble and they don't want to affect their jobs. But the bottom line is they have real concerns. It may be Iran, it may be China, but here's the deal. Iran does have a mothership. It is now not at this point in Iran where it usually is at the port, and it's somewhere else. And here's the other deal. We know that these drones are flying in and out of the ocean, so they're leaving, and the Coast Guard has reported this. They are going into international waters. They're leaving the mainland United States and going into those waters. They're not pontoons where they're landing. They've got to be landing on some kind of a ship or something. Most of all, I can't believe that these whistleblowers would lie to me. And you know what? Megan, I hope that they're wrong. But if they're wrong, then tell us what it is. The bottom line is our government is saying we don't know what it is, we don't know where they come from, we know nothing about them. We won't take one down to figure out what it is so that we can analyze it. But don't worry. You know, it's like going into a doctor's office and you've got a severe pain in your chest and you're doubled over. The doctor says, I have no idea what the hell you've got, but don't worry, everything's going to be okay. There's something wrong here.
You're calling them whistleblowers, so I'm just wondering, are they asserting that there is a cover-up going on here, or that things are known that should be shared but aren't being shared? I mean, why do you call them whistleblowers?
I call them whistleblowers because they are saying what they believe to be the truth. They've come to me. They don't want to be anonymous because they are concerned about their futures and their jobs. And they have told us information that we didn't have. We do know that China and Iran have been dealing with drone technology, and that China has been selling Iran drone technology, and that they do have it. And we do know, obviously, that Iran hates us.
So there you have Representative Vandrew. Not only doubling down on his statement from yesterday, you also hear him speak of whether it's a ship in the ocean they're going to and then launching from. He does stick to his story from yesterday about this whatever apparatus that comes from Iran. Could be the Chinese involved also. And then he goes on to talk about something interesting, which is the infamous word in the UAP community, which is whistleblower. He talks about a whistleblower. I don't know if he replaced whistleblower for the source. I can understand if they're still active duty, if they are military personnel. I understand that he wants to keep them anonymous. Obviously, you don't want to ruin their careers. But now I can see where the guy interviewing him was, trying to ask him about the whistleblower situation. And I thought that was extremely interesting because that would imply exactly what they said. They're hiding something. So if they're hiding something, that's not good. So let's break it down. We still have drones or UAPs flying over New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania now. A lot of reports coming in. We're getting video clips from average Americans out there who want to know more. We have governors telling us to do what we can to help them out. Yet they're the ones with the billions of dollars with plenty of military assets to secure these things, take them down, and whatever else you can imagine they can do with these things. I just don't understand if there's a whistleblower and a source telling him that these are Iranian drones or Chinese drones from some type of mothership or a regular ship off the coast of the East Coast in the Atlantic, then we have a real problem. We have a real problem because they're already here and they've been here for quite a while, and it's gone past the point of it's a thing. It's a concern is what it is. So we need to know why we're being lied to, why they're not telling us everything. I don't know about the beratement, but I can tell you this much. There is conflicting stories. You have an actual congressman telling you and the news media, telling the world, because the world can see this, that he has sources and whistleblowers talking about that this is adversarial. And if it is, are we not doing anything about it except talking about it, telling people that we don't know what they are, yet we don't see a threat, we don't see anything nefarious? Are you kidding me? If anything, if you're keeping it from us, that's nefarious in itself. If you are taking them down and not telling us, that's nefarious. And that's lying, and it's not telling us the truth. We need to know what these drones are, what they're doing, and what the mission of these drones are. Because The longer this goes on, whatever this charade is, or charade, the longer, or I should say, the easier it's going to be for us to be possibly attacked, or who, God knows what else. I can think of 1,000 things, and I really don't want to get into them, because the last thing I want to do here on the Human Spectrum is fearmonger. That's not what we're about. I usually like to be analytical about these things, but I got to be honest with you. It's coming to the point where, you know, it's becoming very frustrating when you see a congressman saying one thing about adversarial drones, and then you see our DOD spokesman at the Pentagon saying that they're not enemy drones, they're not enemy crafts, they're not, you know, from foreign adversaries. Then what are they from? And then a lot of you might agree with me that just by them saying that leaves the question wide open. What are they really? So that's interesting stuff, but it's becoming very, very concerning, and it has been for the last few days. And for some people, especially in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and parts of New York, over a month now. So let me know what you think in the comments. This is not good when you have two people in the government, one who pays the other or passes bills so they can get their money, and the other who receives the money, saying that they can't do anything about it, but they are investigating it and it's not adversarial. Let me know what you think about it. At this point, I think that this whole thing is out of control, really out of control. So I think the government needs to come up with something a little better than saying that it's not adversarial and it's not our enemies. Then what the hell is it? That's what I say. But yeah, I appreciate you joining me today. If it's your first time here, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. We are a growing community here on the Human Spectrum, and I'll be looking into this a little more, and I'm going to find out more information if I get new videos from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, California, Switzerland, wherever, showing drones of any kind and UAP. I would definitely bring it here to you on the Human Spectrum. If you happen to capture anything, images, videos, information, please use the email addresses in the description, and I would love to get a copy of any of those, and we'll analyze them together here on the Human Spectrum, and definitely look into what's going on as far as anything new that comes in. So thanks for watching today. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a good day or night. Take care.